Hello everyone. Hope everyone's had a wonderful weekend. I did. I think we all know why. I saw the Elvis movie 2 times. So far, 2 times. I want to see it again. It's so good. I mean, it just brings this like big smile to my face. It is really good. Baz, the director, did a great job on just the way the movie started out. Now, I did see it. Let's see, I released my video on the movie trailer on the 22nd. I saw it on, yeah, I think it might have been like the day after. I forget. But it was the day before the 24th, so the 23rd. And we saw it in a Screen X. So I'm not sure exactly where everyone is, what's available in your theater. Our theater has a 4DX option, has a Screen X option, has an IMAX option, VIP. There's a lot to choose from now. Going from like me growing up, just regular theater, everyone just first come, first serve. Now you get to select your seats. And we saw it on the Screen X. They did have a advanced screening of the Elvis movie before the actual release. So of course I had to get tickets to that before it sold out. I did find out that it did sell out. So I was pretty excited. Made sure that we were first in line. And my mom went. Happened to be her birthday on that day. So she was first in line. She beat us to it. But the Screen X, it's the regular theater up in front, and then part of the movie becomes like an ultra wide screen, and it actually comes out on the sides. So it's almost like you're in this like fish tank and you're getting like a whole like 180 view of the movie. So it's not 3D. Things, you know, Elvis ain't coming at you, which would have been very nice as well. But no, I did not see Elvis in 3D. So the intro of the movie. Now, I'm not going to give too much away because you have to go see it. Baz really does Elvis some justice in this movie. It's not a mini-series, right? We're so used to watching Elvis mini-series on television. That's all I've seen. It's not a documentary. It is from the eyes of Colonel Tom Parker. So he is the narrator of the movie. But the beginning, like seeing it on the Screen X and having the actual beginning of the movie just kind of come at you in a 180 form. And you'll see, if you've already seen it, the graphics of just like what we're already used to on the trailer, all the little bedazzled, the rhinestones coming at you and stuff. It was amazing. Yeah, so if you have Screen X in your area and you haven't seen the Elvis movie, I recommend Screen X. You have to see it. The one time there's like a big feature film on Elvis, this is it, right? I mean, this is a once in a lifetime chance for me. I don't feel like they're going to make another Elvis movie like this ever again. Maybe another 40 years or so, but I'm just like, I loved it. The second time we saw it, we did see it in a regular theater with the reclining seats. It wasn't, you know, I mean, the movie's still great, but the experience of it being in the Screen X with that surrounding element just gave it a whole different vibe. I mean, it honestly felt like you're at an Elvis concert. So totally see it. Screen X if you can. Okay, so about the movie. Like I said, I'm not going to give a lot away, but I do want to pick out a few things about it. Let's just talk about Austin Butler. Okay, the kid did amazing. You know, it's hard for any actor to look like Elvis. I mean, let's let's get real, right? Let me just pop up a photo of Elvis real quick. I mean, seriously. It's not possible. All right, so we know Elvis, okay? We know his looks. Now, let's bring a picture up of Austin. Mr. Austin Butler. I believe he's 30 years old. I haven't done a whole lot of research on him. I haven't heard about him until I heard he was going to play Elvis. I hear he was like on a Nickelodeon show. I should ask my kids if they're familiar with him. They probably didn't recognize him because he's naturally blonde, I think. And of course, you know, Elvis with the dark hair, they had to dye his hair and all, sideburns. So yeah, he's going to look different. But I believe Nickelodeon is where he was probably popular. So I appreciate that too, because if that's a way for the younger generation to come and see like Austin Butler playing an Elvis movie, and kids don't really know a whole lot about Elvis, this might be a new generation of fans. So I'm not against having people play Elvis. I mean, that's the only way you're gonna really introduce them to the younger folks. We see artists, the music that everyone's kind of listening to today, and sadly, it's not the Elvis kind. So this, I think, is going to help build a new generation of some fans, you know, take what we get, right? So this picture here of Austin Butler portraying, obviously, the later 60s, probably mid 60s, late 60s, his movie career, I would probably say, I don't know, what do you guys think? 65 to like 70, right? The year. The part of the movie when it's like 68 comeback special, and yes, 68 comeback special, it's in there. It's in the movie, okay? We've seen the trailer. We've seen the clips, the pieces. Holy moly, okay? It's good. This kid looked spot on like Elvis at one point, because he was dressed up in like his movie attire, like Fun in Acapulco or something. I can't really pinpoint what movie it was. I know there's Elvis fans in here that would know. But everything was like, it's just going so fast. And there's one clip of him like walking by and he's on a movie set. And I was like, oh my gosh, this kid looked dead on like Elvis. He had like the artificial tan, because you know, notice how Elvis was a little darker in some movies. He was just nicely tan and just like perfect. This kid pulled it off. He did. I'm hoping the Oscars, Movie Academy, whatever. I haven't watched them in a couple years, but I would watch it to see if this movie is going to get anything. Cinematography was great. Like I said, it was just fun. The way, if you're familiar with any movies from Baz, you know, Moulin Rouge, Great Gatsby, these movies that have, you know, they all have like this really fun, like very fast and animated kind of movements to them. So there's a lot of that in this film, where it kind of feels like you're taking a nosedive into some movie clip, and then you're kind of being pulled out, and then you're kind of like a twist and turn, you know, here and there. So there's a lot of that's going on. No, it's not like a motion sickness kind of thing. It's super fast, so it's not something that lasts throughout the entire movie. But yeah, it's definitely like an extra treat of just the cinematography on top of seeing this kid portray Elvis, and hearing Elvis's music, and seeing Elvis's moves, and just seeing the crowd react to Elvis. I mean, it honestly felt like you were part of the concert. And because I went to this early screening, I was there with a bunch of Elvis fans, which made it even more fun. So we were all in line. I had my little Elvis shirt here. This one's different from my movie shirt, because I actually bedazzled my last one. I had this extra one made, but it was kind of faded. So now this is just like a workout shirt. So I'm standing in line, and these ladies and gentlemen, they have like blinged out shirts, blinged out hats, pants, purses, you know, wallets, and My husband made about $40 on my sticker sales. He promoted them for me. He was in the theater and he was showing them off. I actually brought my water bottle up with me today. These are the ones that were pretty popular. If I Could Dream, a couple of my Elvis Bond ones sold. Fans bought one or two of the Austin Butler ones, which are honestly one of the most favorited ones on my Etsy page. So this one here was my newest one, the 70s Elvis. So this one yet I haven't really promoted a whole lot, but it is on my Etsy page. He made $40 for me. I went out of the theater, went and got some popcorn, came back up, and he handed me my little case with all my stickers. He goes, "Here you go. You made like 40 bucks. I was like, wow, that's pretty cool. So that was one of the fun experiences, seeing it with a bunch of Elvis fans. So you haven't seen it yet, get a group of friends that are Elvis fans, because this theater was just like explosive with fans that were singing, clapping every time Elvis would, Austin Butler would stop singing at the end of a performance. It was just like, everyone was just like, yeah, just feeling it. That's the best time to go with Elvis fans, because the second time I went and saw it, it was like super quiet. And I just wanted to be like, kind of, what's the word? Calmer. First time I saw it, I was like, woo, or like, yeah, or just cheering and clapping, and everyone in that theater was an Elvis fan, and we were just all doing the same thing. So of course, being loud during a song, singing along, clapping, that's what we made. I mean, Elvis would be proud of that theater. But yeah, I mean, definitely a good movie. I wanted to share a little poster. This was pretty cool. We got this for going to the early release. These you see online. Pretty cool, huh? I think I just gave my nose a paper cut. Yeah, so that was cool. I had to get my kids one too, because I wasn't sure if the other theater we were going to go to the next day was going to give anything out, and obviously they didn't. So Regal gave out posters. Santa Rosa Theater didn't. Boo on them. Anyhow, let's see, back to the movie. What's another? I don't want to give a whole lot away, because we all know Elvis. We all know what he went through. We know his whole timeline. A lot of time spent in the 50s. If you kind of feel like this movie is going to be, what's the word? White, like against the white, right? I didn't get that at all. I felt that the right acknowledgement was given to the Southern blues, rhythm and blues. So there was a lot of that relationship of Elvis growing, in Mississippi, and just kind of having like that Memphis family, him knowing some of the very popular Black artists, and then them kind of coming together. So it was more family, Elvis with Blacks, and you really got that from the movie. Now, Elvis, considering this is where his roots are from, there's always a lot of the people out there saying like, oh, he stole Black music and he went out there and ran with it. People tend to forget that that was his neighborhood. That's where he grew. Those were his people. That's what made him happy. That was just the music that he grew up, and he had the rhythm for it. That's what God intended him to have. So he obviously, because of being white, and at the time there was a lot of segregation, so being white, ran with it and sold it, and made it popular. Rhythm and blues became popular. But we also have to, see that there were trials that Elvis had to go through, which are pointed out in the movies. you know, the trials of being white and how the white culture didn't like the fact that he was singing black music, even though it was him. I mean, God had made him look a certain way, made him a certain height, and move a certain way, and that's what made him popular. So you got to thank Elvis for kind of bringing it out to the light, and that's what made him king of rock and roll. And so a lot of that is put in there into the film. There is a scene, obviously, that's in the trailer where he sings Trouble in the stadium. Now, we all know that Elvis didn't sing Trouble in the stadium, but I think what the director was trying to do was, there was a really good black and white war going on, the whole segregation during that part of the film, and it kind of felt like Elvis took a step forward versus saying, like, you know what, I think I'm going to keep it black and white. I'm going to keep it separated. Elvis said, you know what, screw it. I'm not going to keep us separated. I'm going to go out there and I'm going to do what I want to do in the style that I want to do it. And no, Elvis wanted everything his way. So he did it. And I think that's what made the whole white and black culture kind of come together with his music. So, and the way he brought it to the world. Awesome scene. Honestly, my son was singing along during that scene. He loves the song Trouble. So I had asked him after the movie, I'm like, what was your favorite scene? And I already knew. And he's like, Trouble. So he liked it. That is a pretty cool scene. That's when you kind of knew Elvis was going to do it his way. And he did. And got a lot of trouble for it, obviously. So kind of fast forwarding, let me see, they show relationship between him and Priscilla. And then we go into the 60s, which is my favorite. So 68 comeback. They don't show a whole lot of the movie making. They show a little bit of it. Like I said, there was a scene where Austin Butler does walk around and he's like, they're kind of cutting into like all the movies that he's kind of filming throughout the 60s. But after that is done, 68 Special is done, and then we get into the 70s. I was kind of bummed that they didn't show a whole lot of the Aloha Hawaii. They did acknowledge it, but they don't show a lot of it. So that kind of bummed me out because, you know, they did acknowledge how many people did tune in for the satellite concert, which I thought was pretty cool. Let's see, what else? Now, my favorite part is from like 60s and on. Okay, so we get into this right here. If you're familiar with Elvis, That's the Way It Is, which is my favorite Elvis movie of like all time, because it gets into the behind the scenes. It shows like the real Elvis, and he's just kind of goofing around, and showing him with the Memphis Mafia, and they're riding bikes, and he's sticking microphones in his mouth and throwing water on each other, you know, that sort of thing during rehearsals. They show some of that. They show some of that here in this movie, and that, I was like, big smile on my face, because I'm like, that's it. You got to show the real Elvis, not just, oh, here's a singing Elvis on stage all the time, you know, which is great. But a lot of people don't see the goofiness of Elvis. He had a sense of humor. They show a part, like he's rehearsing, right, on stage, and they're getting ready for the international hotel concerts, and he's there with his nice silk shirts, and he's doing his thing. He's got his EP glasses on, and the Sweet Inspirations are there, and they're all doing their thing, and he's just like telling everyone what to do and how to sing and when to go. And it was just like a whole tribute to this movie right here. Okay, very cool. A lot of international hotel movie scenes, which is really neat. And man, what else? My gosh, it's just, I mean, the music they chose, the soundtrack for one. If you're on Spotify, any kind of, I guess, digital way of getting to music or web, Spotify has the entire enhanced, it's called enhanced Elvis movie soundtrack. You got to go and like love it. Go listen to it, because there's a lot of cool artists that could contribute and do like their rendition of Elvis's song. But what's kind of neat is that it's kind of like combined with Elvis's original. So it's not like they've completely like taken it over. If there's a new Elvis song that deals with the Elvis movie, then it's the artist. It's the artist song. Like for one, Eminem, Doja Cat, like those would be like the two new Elvis songs on, you know, on the soundtrack. But there's no like Elvis as a part of it. Like that could be like on their own CD. It's just promoting the movie. Now, if it's something like Can't Help Falling in Love, and Casey Musgraves has a version of that, you know, and it actually keeps true to like the actual tone and the rhythm of the original. So a lot of good choices when it comes to the soundtrack. There's many Elvis originals on the soundtrack, a couple remixes that are pretty fun. I actually added it to my workout list because they have a really cool upbeat. Man, I wish I could name some of them off the top of my head. And then, you know, just kind of going through some of them on the soundtrack, you could tell like which one is Austin Butler and which one is Elvis. I mean, obviously it has the name of like who sang it, but they do include a few Austin Butler versions from the movie, the songs that he actually sang in the movie, and the ones that he just kind of lip synced because, right? American Trilogy, we all know Elvis sang that one. Unchained Melody, we all know Elvis sang that one. So there was no way that Austin Butler was going to touch that one. That was like their tribute to like, yeah, we're just going to let Elvis do this one, and I'm going to pretend that I'm over here singing it just by moving my lips. So yeah, I mean, if I were fully going to rate this movie, like out of 10, I'd give it like 200. Yes, I'm going to go. I want to see it again. And I can't wait for it to be on DVD, even though the movie's been out for like 3 days officially. I'm like already like, when's the DVD release? So hopefully they do. I'm just going to show a couple clips here from the movie. Not videos, just photos. This one here with the white jumpsuit. I really like this part because it's kind of, it takes us into like the Love Me Tender when he goes around and he's like kissing all the women, right? Because that's what he would do. But a little interesting twist on this is that, you know, Priscilla actually sees him do this for like the first time. So they want the audience to think, well, how would it feel if like your wife or husband was kissing someone else right in front of you, right? So it kind of makes you think. So they want that, they want you mixed emotions, and it happens. So that's a good scene. Let's see what else. I don't know if I have any, or I'm just kind of doing like a Austin Butler as Elvis scene. Let's talk about this kid's voice. You know, he did really well. I heard it took him 3 years to make this movie. Here's one of Austin Butler playing the 50s Elvis and meeting Colonel Tom Parker at the carnival before they sealed the deal. The clothing, wardrobe, spot on. I mean, this kid rocked it. He's 6 foot, just like Elvis. So anything you put this kid in that Elvis wore, he'd probably, might as well just call him Jesse Presley. I mean, he rocked it. I mean, the hair and all, the voice, he did really well. This kid really deserves an Oscar for that. Let's see, the 68 comeback special, you know, like just kind of, let me pull one up here. This one here showing Elvis and Austin. I mean, come on, looks wise, There's no comparison, but the kid nails the essence of Elvis. I mean, he got it. He got it good. He did. So, yeah, I think that's probably about it. I really don't want to say much more. The ending had me in tears. No. Yeah, it did. Both times I saw it, I'm just like, I was, and I'm sure every other Elvis fan, I mean, we all know how it ends, but it's really cool. Throughout the movie, you have to kind of spot the real Elvises, because there would be, during the film, there would be clips where they're doing like a whole collage of like Elvis in his jumpsuits, right? So there's like 5 different Elvises, and you're just kind of like, Elvis overload everywhere. Well, one's Austin Butler, but then real Elvis Presley is over here in the blue suit, and he's doing his thing. And then Austin Butler pops in over here, and then Elvis is over here, Austin's here, Elvis is here. So you're kind of getting like, you know, whack the mole. Which one is the real Elvis? So I like that as part of the film, is that they kept true to Elvis, and they actually put some real footage of Elvis in there. And then the ending, yeah, it's really good. And then the tribute, they put his full name, born, died, and I just stayed till like the end of the credits because I love the graphics. Like all the rhinestones and the little gold hound dogs floating, and this gold Elvis, you know, doing the Jailhouse Rock move, and just really cool graphics. And it might have been, I bet it was super fun, especially if you're an Elvis fan, to be part of this movie, you know, as far as graphic artists, you know, to hire me to like go out there and illustrate something Elvis, I'd be like, heck yeah. And then, yeah, so yeah, it's good. Gotta go see it. Go see it. It's perfect. It's a wonderful tribute to Elvis. They did him right. They really did. So let me know what you think in the comments, okay? Let me know if you've already went and saw it, what you think, if I left anything out. And then, yeah, that's about it. It was really good. Okay? So promise to go see it 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 times. I will. All right, everyone. Hope you have a wonderful week. I'll try to get another fun Elvis video probably up sometime this week. We'll see. It is summer. It gets a little bit tougher to do something without the kids bugging since they're home. So I'll try to make some time. I have some cleaning to do and just catching up on decorating the kids' rooms and all that fun stuff. And summer is flying, you know, and when I have a break, I don't feel like cleaning. I want to go watch Elvis for like a 10th time. I just do. It's good. Anyhow. All right. I got to end with my fun little bobblehead here. I won't say all the songs that they sing in the movie, but they're good. And I was clapping, and I was going woohoo through all of them. I mean, sometimes when I clap, the rest of the other Elvis fans would be clapping too. Before you know it, there's like 30 of us clapping. And I'm like, this is what Elvis would want. He would want us to sit here and like enjoy the movie, not just like, zombie. Right? You gotta feel it. You gotta feel it like Elvis did. You do the shimmy and the shakes in the theater seat. I did. It's dark. No one's gonna see you. Who cares? Gee willikers. Anyhow, Elvis, king of rock and roll. Jesus, king of kings. Have a blessed day. See ya. Thank you very much.